refresh the page. You are not live yet, no.
It seems to be live now. There's something counting. It says live. I'm assuming I'm live. Hello, I'm alive.
Are you live? I can't see it. Oh, you are live. You're live. You're live.
I'm live.
There you are.
Okay,
You are
I'm
live.
I'm live on the internet, on the interweb.
You're live on the internet.
All right. Okay, folks. Well, thanks, Laura. Technical
Thanks.
technical advisor, supreme. I'll see you later. Listen, Laura. After the 20 minutes we've had, join the meditation, and we'll try to be calm. Sorry, I'm really sorry, folks. We had technical difficulties. For some reason, the program didn't work today, and but I'm glad that you are now with me. Let me just turn the phone off. So, um, great. Okay, I see Lillian's here, Natalia's here, Sarah's here, Sarah Wilson. That's our cellist from London. Alan's here, Christy's here. So, a few of you hung out. You had Faith. Hi, Fee, and Gabby from Oklahoma, Frank, and Sarah, and Jesus, and Bruno, Antonio Teresa, ciao dalla Puglia. Sorry, and just give me I feel like giving you a few shouts out. Richard says, all good from Ireland. Jenny says, hi. Martin says, welcome back. He's in Dublin. Maria says, hi. Sara Mendes. Daniel Garnica, good morning from Mexico. Claire, Mariana Menezes de Moraes. Mark says hi. Mariana Lemoni from Montevideo in Uruguay. Uri from Barcelona. Ode, bonjour, glad to see you. Ode Pichon. Nadia Rochetti, good afternoon from Italy. Elisabetta from southern Italy. Oh, it's so fast now. It's so fast. Giuseppe from Catania. Frank Ammerman from William from just over there. Okay. Gabrielle from Brazil. And Brenda from Montreal. Denise from Scotland. Okay, right. What are we doing here? We're meant to be meditating. So I'm going to get into this. I'm just gonna pull the window blind down. Just bear with me a second. It got really hot in here, and then we can get going. Right. Okay. So we're gonna run over it a little bit today because it took us a while to get going. I hope that's all right with you. That's all right with me. Yeah, that's all right with me. Right. Sorry, just give me a second. Right. Let us try and settle our minds. First of all, thank you very much for joining us in the meditation. This is usually my favorite part of the week. This week was a little bit hassle because we couldn't get it working, but it's it just feels I just love it when we're all together and doing something. I know you're all over the place and I can't really see you, but it still feels like we're doing something together. It feels like such a communal thing. And um it's actually really it's a really nice thing for me as well, you know. So don't think this is just a one-way street. This is you're doing me a big favor here, because when we meditate together, I think it's more meaningful, and it helps me. I just love it, especially in this kind of lockdown period. It feels like I'm getting a big dose of sociability. So let's start straight away. Let's do a quick breathing meditation. We're going to do something slightly different today. We're going to do a breathing meditation first, and then I'm going to do a little bit of talking, and then finally we're going to do another short meditation at the end, which is called a clear sky meditation. So, and you know, somebody commented to me. I spoke to somebody during the week who's been trying the meditations and saying, you know, I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish at it. And I did try it. Well, you don't have to try it. You can just sit and listen, wait for the chat. But let me assure you that we're all pretty crap at meditation. Holding your mind on a virtuous object, concentrating, you know, that which is meditation, is difficult, and we have to train at it. It's like it's like expecting to become a great athlete without doing lots of running. So, but it's definitely worthwhile. It's worth trying. It's worth putting a little bit of effort in, and we should get something back from it. So keep trying. Let's get into a comfortable seated position with a straight back. And close your eyes if you like. And start to go inward in your mind. And I bet already, just in that act of closing your eyes and bringing your thoughts in, your breath naturally starts to settle down, and your mind, just your whole body. Feel your tension going away from your shoulders. Relax your shoulders. Feel the area around your eyes and your forehead. Just let them uncrinkle. And just come into this moment. We're so lucky to have this time. So let's think about your breath. Just start to notice it without affecting it. Notice the air around the tip of your nose. The cool air coming in, the warm air going out. So let's just try and rest our mind here for a few minutes, focusing on the breath. And if your mind starts to wander, just focus once more on your breath. If you have any persistent thoughts or any worries, anything that you've brought with you, you can just leave them at the door now. You don't need them for the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes. For the last time, just bring your thoughts back to the breath. So I've got a little feeling of calmness. I feel a little calmer than I did 10 minutes ago. I hope you do too. Now let's try to maintain that supple mind, that feeling of concentration. And you can come out of meditation now, if you like. But if you want, you can always keep your eyes closed for the next 5 or 10 minutes. I'm just going to chat. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to run a little bit later today. I hope that's all right. So I'm going to open my eyes. Okay. So last week I had a message from Yoko, who is Japanese, and she's living in the UK. And she said, my request for next week is, can you read your favorite teaching from a Buddhist text? So I thought about this, and I remember when I first started going to Buddhist meditation in the Kadampa Center in Glasgow, they were always reading from one of the books. There was many books written by Geshe Kelsang Gyatso, who started the Kadampa. And this one book in particular, How to Solve Our Human Problems, made an impression on me. And of course, we made 3 records with that title. And I remember this particular passage made an impression on me, and it made me so happy to think about, those moments when the penny drops and something just changes in your mind when you see something. So I wanted to read this little bit, which is from How to Solve Our Human Problems. Normally, our need to escape from unpleasant feelings is so urgent that we do not give ourselves time to discover where these feelings actually come from. Suppose that someone we have helped responds with ingratitude, or that our partner fails to return our affection, or that a colleague or boss continually tries to belittle us and undermine our confidence. Well, these things hurt. our instinctive reaction is to try immediately to escape from the painful feeling in our mind by getting defensive and blaming the other person or retaliating or simply hardening our heart. Unfortunately, by reacting so quickly, we do not give ourselves the time to see what is actually going on in our mind. In reality, the painful feelings that arise on such occasions are not intolerable. They're only feelings. They're a few moments of bad weather in the mind, and they don't have any power to cause us lasting harm. There's actually no need to take them so seriously. We are just one person among countless living beings, and a few moments of unpleasant feeling arising in the mind of one person is no catastrophe. Just as there is room in the sky for a thunderstorm, so there is room in the vast space of our mind for a few painful feelings. And just as a storm has no power to destroy the sky, so unpleasant feelings have no power to destroy our mind. When painful feelings arise in our mind, there is no need to panic. We can patiently accept them, experience them, even investigate their nature and where they come from. When we do this, we'll discover that painful feelings do not come to us from outside, but arise from our own mind. Circumstance or other people have no power to make us feel bad. The most they can do is trigger the potential for painful feelings that already exist within our own mind. So that's from How to Solve Our Human Problems by Geshe Kelsang Gyatso, and there's a lot in it there. If this was a regular Buddhist class, it might take an hour or an hour and a half to unpack all this stuff that was going on. But I just particularly love the analogy of your mind being like the sky, and there's clouds in the sky, but the clouds will never overwhelm the sky. So just like unpleasant feelings have no power to destroy our mind. These feelings they come up, and if you let them, they'll go away as quickly as they arrived. So that's actually that's what we're going to meditate on in a minute, a clear sky meditation. We're going to go back and do one in a minute. But it made me think, actually. There was the first time I went to America, it was about 25 years ago or something, and me and a friend actually went there. We went there for the good weather in California because we were freezing and we weren't feeling very well in Scotland, and we thought we'd go and get warmed up, and we thought the weather would do us good, and that was the only reason that we went to America. But maybe it was just California or San Francisco that we were in. We found people's attitudes quite uplifting, and there's really good things about America. Of course, there's good things about every country you go to, but it was a nice surprise, and it made you feel that you could I could become a songwriter, or I could do what I wanted to do, and people were quite encouraging. rather than in Scotland when I was growing up, people were very much like, well, you really need to dig in and you need to study and you need to, uh, you know, you need to find your place and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, my point is that I remember coming back from America the first time after being there for 3 months, um, and I was sitting in the Botanic Gardens, which I can see from here, and I was sitting under a tree, like I was doing this morning actually, um, and an old lady came over to me, and she looked she looked nice enough, and she said, "Oh, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm just sitting here thinking for a minute." And she said, "And that's work." And I think she was kind of criticizing me for just, sitting and thinking, not actually doing something constructive. But it always stuck with me. And um, my point is that what we're doing just now, all this, the kind of breathing meditation, and me hitting you with a bit of Buddhist advice, and um, you just sitting and thinking and letting your mind calm down. This could actually be the best work that you do today, or the best work that you do all week. I don't think we should ever feel bad about taking a little time out, taking a break. Because I tell you this, it's not just good for you. It's good for everybody else. And I hope that lady was okay, but I think she was a little bit uptight. I think a lot of people are, and in a sense, that's her problem, or that was her problem, and it doesn't have to be your problem. So I'm enjoying what we're doing, and I hope you are too. And beyond all this, if you think about what you do in the day, your daily chores and your dealings with people and your little projects, of course, a lot of that stuff has merit and it has lasting importance. But a lot of it is kind of trivial stuff, neutral stuff, stuff that really, one way or the other, doesn't affect people for good or bad. But I promise you that a little bit of meditation that we're doing, especially when we're focusing on a virtuous object, it's very precious. I think it's a lasting thing. I remember I was saying last week how important it is to train our minds, because our bodies are eventually going to fall apart. Our body's going to fall apart first, and what do we have at the end? The last thing that we have is our minds. So it's important to keep a positive mind and to do a little bit of mind training. So if you do find yourself this week sitting under a tree, obviously within the present laws and guidances laid down in your own specific country, but it's definitely not a waste of time. You're powering yourself up to be calmer, and therefore to be kinder and more useful to other people. So I think I said at the start, we started late, and I'm just going late. I know some of you have got stuff to rush off to, but so if you have to go just now, that's okay. It was very nice to see you, but I think I'm going to carry on with my plan to do a final meditation now, which is called the clear mind meditation, which we sometimes do in our class. It's actually available on a you can buy like a CD or a download of this with somebody with a very calm voice doing this meditation. But for the minute, let's get in a comfortable position again with a straight back, and close your eyes if they're not already closed. Or if you're feeling drowsy, you can always keep them a little bit open. Let a little bit of light in. Put your hands in your lap if you can. You don't have to be sat cross-legged. You can be sat on a chair. Just be comfortable. So if you just bring your mind inward for a minute. So I actually want you to just examine your thoughts for a second. I'm sure they've probably gone back to racing in all different directions. But just have a look at them. Let's see what's going on in your mind. It's amazing to think of thousands of people sitting dotted all around the world somewhere, and 100 different things going on in your mind. So I want you to try and look at the thoughts. Look at what's going on in your mind without looking at the subject of the thoughts. Just try to observe your thought pattern for a minute. Maybe get a feel for where they're coming from and where they're disappearing to. And let's assume for a minute that your thoughts are like clouds, building up, then evaporating. But what's behind the clouds? There's a massive blue sky. vast, stretching for miles and miles in every direction. And that is actually what your mind is like. It's huge. And there's a fundamental calmness behind the clouds. So let's just let the clouds dissolve away for a few minutes. And try and experience the calmness that sits behind there at all times. Because if you can let that in, it's so good for you. You're not just escaping from your worries or your problems here. It's not just escapism, this is actually a cure. Because this is the best part of you, actually. This is where the good stuff is. You just need to dig down a bit. So hopefully you had a little glimpse into the calmness behind the clouds, that you manage to calm all the crazy thoughts that we have in our mind rushing in and out. We're always swinging from really happy to crazy sad, and it's actually better to stay somewhere in the middle, and this helps us. So if you'd like to start coming out of meditation, and as we do, let's dedicate our efforts to our own health, our own happiness, to the health and happiness for those round about us, and then just extend that to the rest of the world too. And you can open your eyes. Thanks for sticking with me. Sorry about the late start today. We'll try to be a little bit more on it next week. I don't know what happened this week, but I just want to finish with something funny. Again, this happened to me in America quite recently. I was on tour with the band, and we were in Austin, Texas. Just want to say hi to anybody who's in Austin. And I was not meditating, I was doing yoga on the lawn outside the Capitol building, and it's such a it's the anathema to the sort of pictures that we're seeing from America now, with these gun-toting nutcases who are walking into Capitol buildings and stuff. Let's just remind ourselves that there's more of us than there is of them. There's more kind of steady, peace-loving people around, and there was hundreds of people doing yoga that day, and the woman that was doing the yoga, we were in a particular pose, and she just looked around and she said, you're doing so great. I look at you and I see Superman, Superwoman, super gender neutral. And so I laughed at that, but I loved it as well. So until next week, Superman, Superwoman, super gender neutral. This is Stuart Murdoch from Bell and Sebastian, wishing you a really good week. Bye for now.